सज्जना प्रिया वैष्णवा सार्वभौमसी जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदानाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्नि गौरतिसे नमः। पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्त्यावतारं भक्त्याख्यं भक्तशक्तिरूपकम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते। जयतां सुरतौ पंगा मम मंदर्मते गति मत्सर्वस्य पदां भोजौ राधा मदन मोहन। दिव्यारण्यकल्पद्रुमाधा
हरे कृष्णा सोना गोदावरी प्रभु धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण।
Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha
माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपीजना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपीजना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपीजना यशोधानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोधानन्दन यशोधानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोधानन्दन यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमस्ते शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की श्री प्रभुपाद लीलामृत की जय ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So today we are assembled here to read here from the life of Srila Prabhupada. Actually, pastimes of Lord Krishna and pastimes of Lord's devotees are non-different. They are the same because they are related to each other. Because if you see Srimad Bhagavatam, it is nothing but pastimes of Lord and Lord's devotees. When Lord's devotees are being described, then Lord is also there in that pastimes. So similarly, when Srila Prabhupada's Katha we are discussing, it's also Krishna Katha only because it's connected to Krishna. All the activities of pure devotees are in connection to Lord Krishna. How Srila Prabhupada established this international society for Krishna consciousness and made it popular all over the world. Srila Prabhupada is such a unique acharya that he made Krishna famous and kept himself in the background. But you see many organizations where the person becomes prominent, he is in the forefront and God is in the background. But here Prabhupada made Krishna famous and he kept himself in the background and he didn't want popularity, name, fame, anything like that. So that's why many people know ISKCON now, but most of them do not know who is the founder of ISKCON. That's of course now the awareness is increasing, but initially people knew only ISKCON, but Prabhupada was hidden. But as the time progresses, Srila Prabhupada's glory will be more and more explained and more clear to the people of this world. His Holiness Bhakticharya Swami Maharaj was mentioning that just like when a person is standing at the bottom of a mountain, like the Himalayan mountain, if it is standing at the bottom, then one cannot see the height of the mountain. The real height cannot be seen. But when he goes a little far, then he can actually see the height of the mountain. It becomes visible. So that is that's how Prabhupada's glory will become more and more clear as the time progresses. So today we are going to discuss from the additional pastimes, the volume of the seventh volume, actually the additional volume of Srila Prabhupada Lilamrtha. Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrtha is a very amazing book, which is a must read for all ISKCON followers. After reading this book, we can read many other books. There are about 80 biographies of Srila Prabhupada available, written by different devotees. I think Srila Prabhupada is the only such acharya about whom so many books are written. Generally, there are, for other people, may have one biography, main biography, that one volume, and then maybe some 2-3 more maybe there. But Srila Prabhupada has got 80 and more are coming. More are coming. Right. Recently, His Holiness Trikram Swami Maharaj wrote his memoirs of Srila Prabhupada. So I think it is special moments, something like that. He has written one book, and every Prabhupada disciple has got a different perspective of Srila Prabhupada, which they had experienced with Srila Prabhupada. So they are writing. So Prabhupada's Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. Similarly, Prabhupada also is devotee of Lord Krishna. So his pastimes are also unlimited. And what he did in this his lifetime, it is difficult to contribution to the society. So this today's session is mostly focused on what incidents happened in Canada, Montreal. Srila Prabhupada is in Montreal in 1968. It has been just 3 years after Prabhupada went to America. First year went in studying the American land and the people and their behaviors, and there are not much preaching which happened in the first year. Prabhupada was just exploring opportunities. In the second year, preaching picked up in New York, in San Francisco, and in Los Angeles. So Prabhupada was there on tourist visa. He went to America on tourist visa, and one cannot stay for years in American land. So Prabhupada is getting notice from the embassy that you have to return back. Somebody you have to return back. But somehow Prabhupada kept applying for renewals, and Prabhupada went on staying for almost 3 years. So once he went to India and came back in that 3 years. But Prabhupada somehow extended the visa. But then an ultimate notice was sent that Prabhupada has to vacate. Prabhupada has to vacate the place. That was the notice given. Then Prabhupada again tried writing to them to convince them. Prabhupada says that I know that you people, American government is frustrated with so many Swamis coming to India and you don't like them because these Swamis are coming to India, coming to America from India, and they're cheating your people, promising them some mantras and taking money and going back to India. So I know that you people are disgusted. I understand that the government of US is disgusted with so-called Swamis because they have exploited the people in so many ways. That is a fact. And if I would have been in the government, I would also have considered like that. So they have not got a very good opinion about the rascal Swamis. Prabhupada says, even if I was there in your post as government official, I would also have done the same thing. Under the circumstances, it will be difficult to get me admitted as a Swami, although I am not a Swami of that group. I have come here to do some nice service, and many TV people have also introduced me as a real Swami from India. So, of course, I'm not looking for popularity and fame, but this is what the people talk about it. So, I'm here to just preach the doctrine of Krishna consciousness. So, I'm not attracted for any place, either hell or heaven. This is the letter Prabhupada is writing to the embassy and then requesting for renewal. So, but they were not agreeing to renew. And Prabhupada also wanted to apply for permanent residency, either in USA or in Canada, because both are neighboring countries. So Prabhupada is trying in USA, but it was not working out. So then Prabhupada thought, let's go to Canada. Because Canada is just neighbor. Sometimes I heard that when like medical help in USA is very costly, so they just go to Canada, which is just border crossing, and they get some medical treatment done and come back. So it is like that. So Prabhupada thought, oh, let's go to Canada. And Prabhupada stays in Montreal. And there is a small group of devotees, mainly His Grace Gaurachandra Prabhu and Her Grace Govinda Dasi Mataji. So they both were helping Srila Prabhupada in his services in Canada. And main service of Govinda Mataji was, Govinda Dasi Mataji was that she used to cook for Srila Prabhupada, keep the things clean, and serve Srila Prabhupada Prasadam. So all this kind of services Prabhupada was, Govinda Dasi Mataji was taking, giving to Srila Prabhupada at that time. So there are some interactions with them here. We'll discuss a couple of them and some lessons, what we can learn from these interactions. First lesson is about cleanliness. So, Prabhupada is very particular about cleanliness. He wanted everything neat and clean. So when Srila Prabhupada once was sitting in the room for lunch, and Govinda Dasi Mataji was bringing a plate of prasadam, and then Prabhupada saw that one mouse, a baby mouse, start coming in the room through the door. And then Prabhupada saw, then she also saw, what is this doing here? Then, similarly, she put the tray of prasadam down and then started running behind the mouse. And Prabhupada also got up and started going behind the mouse. Prabhupada also joined excitedly in the chase. Then another rat appeared. So when Harinam Prabhu, visiting from San Francisco, heard the commotion, he also came to the door and offered help, taking up a shoebox, empty shoebox, and began chasing the rats, and finally caught both the rats. And then Prabhupada told, go leave it far away and then come. So then Prabhupada later went into the kitchen where Gaurachandra Prabhu and Govinda Dasi, they both were doing service. And Prabhupada says, if you kept everything very clean, these rats wouldn't come. If someone is very much attached to his dwelling, then he may take his next birth in that dwelling as a cockroach or a rat. Means if somebody is attached to the home, so he will be born in that same home as a rat or cockroach. So, interesting. These are sinful living entities, and they're taking their birth because of that attachment. He then asked Shivananda to seal up the cracks in the floor. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So once one senior devotee was giving class in one of the voice center where I was staying as a working boy. So at that time, one cockroach came in the temple hall, and I was climbing the wall behind the preacher. Vyasas and Prabhuji sitting giving class, and behind that wall there is cockroach climbing. She looked like this, and looked at all the devotees and said, "Devotees are not chanting properly." Because devotees are not chanting properly, their heart is not clean. Because their heart is not clean, they're not keeping the place clean, and because they're not keeping the place clean, cockroaches are coming. That was how he connected. The devotees are not chanting properly. If somebody is chanting properly and doing services, means devotional service properly, then he will keep himself clean. He'll keep his surroundings clean, his table, his locker, everything very clean. So then there is no scope for this insects or rodents coming into that place. So Prabhupada also said like that. So you should keep things clean, seal all the cracks so that the rats don't hide. Right? And who are these rats? They are the people who are attached to that place, so they are being born there. Like you hear the story of Kailash, which we discussed. Kailash was very attached to his family and his home, so he was born as dog in the next life. Right? So Narada is giving opportunity. Come, Kailash, let's go to Vaikunta. But Kailash was not interested. Then he became a dog. Then next time when Narada came, he saw that he has become a snake. And then he gave a nice beating to the snake. And his children only came and bet him. And his own children in the previous life, they came and bet him very badly. So then later he realized. So Praharena Dhananjaya. Some people, just by hearing that this world is miserable, they would get desire to go back to Godhead. But some people have to experience. Then they will realize. But some people, even after experiencing, they don't realize. They need some beating. They need thorough thrashing. So then they will realize. So Kailash was like that. So people who are attached to the home, they are born as rats in that home, and the owners of that home, maybe their children or grandchildren, they may beat those rats and throw them away, or even kill them or they may trap them in the mouse trap. Right? So this is the nature of this world. And sometimes Srila Prabhupada used to become heavy on his servants to teach them the proper etiquette of service. So Prabhupada in the night, generally he used to take some boiled vegetables and poha, puffed rice, and then he used to take some roast fried groundnuts. So once Govinda Dashi, she cooked the groundnuts, and the groundnuts had become black. Why have you made them black? Why are these peanuts black? So Prabhupada started questioning. And Govinda, she heard this question. She was like a little bit shaken in the heart. And then she started crying. Why are you crying? You are crying because you are angry? Why have you done this? His stern and anger look made her tears even more harder. I'm not angry, Prabhupada. I'm very sorry I made peanuts too dark. Generally, when the cook is not in a good mood, then the preparation gets spoiled. Cook should be in a very happy mood when he's cooking, so then the preparations will be very delicious because he's putting his heart. But if the cook is now disturbed or angry or something like that, then he will spoil the preparation. So Prabhupada questioned like that. So Prabhupada used to become angry and speak strong words to teach her a lesson, and then after some time he'll forget as if nothing has happened. Another instance happened. So Srila Prabhupada, he had a dictaphone where he was dictating his purports. So Prabhupada, the Prabhupada's dictaphone was given to another Mataji, god sister, and some of that god sister, when she was using that dictaphone, she broke it. Right? Like it happens when one devotee gives his mobile to another, some gadget to another devotee, and then somehow he drops it and it gets broken. Like that time, Prabhupada came to know. You American boys and girls, you are rich man's son. So you simply think you can break anything and get a new. That's American culture. Use and throw. And then next item use it and then throw it. So this is what is happening. You do not care of such things. Only one person should use a machine. You should not have allowed her to use it. Right? So Prabhupada didn't want many people to use. Only one person should use. It's my machine, I will use it. Then it will be maintained properly. Same on vehicles also. So bike or cars, if one man is handling, it will come for a long time. But if multiple people handle, then there is a chance of. That's why the temple vehicles break down very early, because multiple people handle the machines. So even the sound system or such things, multiple people handle. So there is greater chance of wear and tear and breakdown. So Prabhupada said that as much as possible, one person should use gadgets. And Govindas, he went and she started crying. And the next interaction, Prabhupada dealt with her as if nothing had happened. So that's how Prabhupada used to deal with his devotees. So one day Prabhupada was walking, and actually Prabhupada never went alone. And always some devotees were there with him. So one day Govinda Dasi came and saw Prabhupada was not there. Prabhupada's shoes are missing. She started searching everywhere in the building. Prabhupada is not there. She went out, started walking on the street. Then little distance, she saw Prabhupada walking. She came running. Srila Prabhupada, where are you going? Why have you left? She directly asked, desperately. Then Prabhupada looked at her, stood straight, looked at her. Oh, I'm just going out to the bank of the river. It's all right, I'll be back. Govindasi apologized for being so demanding. I just thought you shouldn't go alone because you have been ill. So that's the time when Prabhupada had just got that heart attack before some time, and then Prabhupada was recovering from that. So Prabhupada was staying there. So Prabhupada told, she was concerned that Prabhupada should not go alone. If something happens, nobody will be there to take care. So they wanted somebody to be with Prabhupada always. And Prabhupada said, what do you know? Physician, heal thyself. If somebody is a doctor, then what he does? He heals himself. Right? Physician heal themselves. So and Prabhupada said that I am not sick. You people are sick. You see, you are always using kerchief. Your nose is running. You're sneezing. And this is because you people are unclean. I went to your room and I saw that everything is so messy, dirty. All garbage is littered here and there, and kerchief is littered here and there. And that's why you people are sick. So you should clean. Hmm? And then Prabhupada made a very encouraging comment. Yes, Govinda Dasi, everything is nice. You are an excellent secretary, you are an excellent cook, and you are good at everything. Your only disqualification is that you are a woman. But don't worry, next life you shall become a brahmachari. In this life you are a woman, so there is some reservations for serving a sannyasi, but you are good at everything. But don't worry, next life you'll be brahmachari and you can very closely serve other senior brahmacharis or sannyasis. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. She was very happy hearing this remark. So, in this way, Prabhupada knew how to correct his disciples and also speak some encouraging words to them so that they get inspired. So, Prabhupada didn't believe in forcing people to practice Krishna consciousness. It was not forceful. Like there are some religions who do forceful preaching to convert people to other religions. But Prabhupada was not like that. So Prabhupada wanted to inspire devotees, inspire the people, and and once they are convinced, then happily practice Krishna consciousness voluntarily. So Prabhupada was believing in bringing out the voluntary spirit of service, not a forceful surrender. Prabhupada wanted to inspire them. So Prabhupada wanted to means Americans to follow Krishna consciousness, and he also wanted them to preach Krishna consciousness. So that's why he went there. So Prabhupada, although he was staying with his disciples like Gaurachandra Prabhu and Govinda Dasi Mataji, so Prabhupada felt that you could be better preachers. You can preach. That's what I want. Right? Doing personal service that anybody can do, but preaching, not everybody can do. But I want you people to preach. So and Prabhupada used to train them. And especially with Gaurachandra Prabhu, he used to always ask questions and then discuss philosophy, and especially about Mayavad. So one day in the middle of the night, Prabhupada comes and wakes up. Not in the middle of the night, in the early morning, Prabhupada walked into the room where Gaurachandra was resting. He said, wake up. Jai Shri Jagannath Baldev Sudramaya ki jai, Shri Gaurnita ki jai, Shri Lakshmi Sandhya ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. And he says, Prabhupada put an argument. Krishna's personality must be product of illusion because the absolute is defined as beyond personality, right? So nirguna or nirakar, these are some of the words used in Vedas to describe what Krishna. Akayam, he doesn't have a body. So God's personality must be a product of illusion. And Gaurachandra had to wake up and then refute that argument. And Gaurachandra had immediately refuted the argument. So like this, Prabhupada is to train his disciples. Prabhupada would sometimes remark that eventually Gaurachandra and Govindasi should travel together to some part of the world and preach. Krishna consciousness had to be introduced in so many places, and Prabhupada envisioned that one day his servant and secretary, Gaurachandra and Govindasi, would go off to open a new center. Taking care of my body, it's not such an important thing, but preaching is very important. So, and because Prabhupada was in Montreal, so many devotees wanted to come and meet Srila Prabhupada in Montreal. So Montreal is like southeastern side of Canada. And a couple of devotees from US, they wanted to come and meet Srila Prabhupada. So they joined Prabhupada in Montreal, and Prabhupada was happy to receive them. And he told local devotees to take care of them, arrange good accommodations and prasadam for all of them. And they used to come and talk to Srila Prabhupada, ask questions, and Prabhupada was always available. Although Prabhupada had told his servants that allow the meetings only in this time, specific time, so that I can do my other work, so that they don't disturb me. But many times Prabhupada himself broke his law, which he had made. And he allowed anybody and everybody to come and talk to him at any time. So it is not very strict that no, you have to only go at this appointed times. Anyway, anytime you feel like going into Prabhupada's room, Prabhupada allowed it. So that's why initial devotees got a lot of liberty to meet Prabhupada and talk. It is 1968, just now. But later on, when Prabhupada's mission was expanding a lot, then his secretaries became more strict. That one cannot allow people, like you see Tamal Krishna Maharaj and others, they'll be very strict. They didn't allow anybody to meet Prabhupada at specific times, so that Prabhupada can have his own time for himself. And many times they used to come and ask some very good questions also. So once Nanda Kishora, he came to Prabhupada and said, "Oh, you're from America?" And he said, "Yes, Prabhupada, I came from America. I just had a question. I heard you speaking that there is only, I heard that Krishna could be in heart of every living entity at the same time. How is it possible? Because Krishna is one, but he is there in all the living entities' hearts. How?" Then Prabhupada said, "Oh, that's very easy to understand. Just like the sun is above your head. So that's my sun. I'm able to see. It's above your head also, your sun. And somebody is in another city, sun is still above his head. Somebody is in another country, still the sun is above his head only. So all the sun is one, but he is available for everybody. Similarly, Krishna also is like this. Just try to understand this point. Try to understand. So like this, Prabhupada is to patiently answer the questions. Then another group of people came all the way from San Francisco. It's quite far. And they were inspired by Srila Prabhupada. So some were already disciples of Prabhupada, and some had become devotees, new devotees, and they had only heard about Prabhupada. They also came to meet Prabhupada because they wanted to meet Swamiji. So how they came? They came hitchhiking for 3 days. Hitchhiking means they stop any car and say, "Where are you going?" "You're going east." "Okay, I want to go." So like this 3 days they hitchhiked, and some of finally came to Montreal, and Prabhupada is very happy to meet them. And Prabhupada and Gaurachandra and all, when they saw this new devotees coming from San Francisco, they said, "Oh, wonderful! Please go into the room. Prabhupada is going to have his lunch. You sit with Prabhupada." So wonderful. So they came and sat. So Prabhupada was sitting, and Prabhupada's plate was full, and Prabhupada is about to begin. So at that time, and these two people are also sitting, and their plates are empty, and Prabhupada's plate was full, because there wasn't much enough, because they had just come unexpected, and Gaurachandra didn't know what is in the kitchen, so he said, "Sit." They sat, and Govindasi comes and she sees two new people sitting. She's wondering what to do. So Prabhupada, she went and keeps plate in front of Prabhupada, and Prabhupada also understands. "What about their food?" So Govindasi went to get something for us, Prabhupada. "Okay, you are very thin. You look very sick. You should eat more." So Prabhupada is telling one of the visitors, and he says, "You should eat 6 chapatis every day." And he gave him a whole prescription of what you should eat, how much you should eat. Prabhupada was very personal at times when it came to dealing with his devotees. Prabhupada used to personally prescribe some medicines also. Oh, you have this pain in the feet, you take this medicine. Once Prabhupada gave prescription, when Prabhupada was in Mayapur, he gave one prescription to his devotee and gave some money also to buy this medicine. Right? So in this, Prabhupada was very caring for his disciples. Another mouse came during this lunchtime and Gaurachandra captured it. And Prabhupada this time he said, gave another purport. He said, so this mouse, he was a devotee in his last life. He came to eat some remnants of Mahaprasad. So that's why he has come. So then after the lunch, the visiting devotees, they came, touched Prabhupada's feet. And Prabhupada allowed, they touched Prabhupada's feet. And they feel blessed. And Prabhupada also touched their head like this. They felt as if they're like small babies in front of father. So in this way, Prabhupada's many people came to meet Srila Prabhupada. So a couple of devotees came from New Vrindavan, Kirtananda Maharaj and Haigriva. They were talking to Prabhupada about New Vrindavan. They just had recently acquired that land of New Vrindavan. And Prabhupada was very happy because at the time, ISKCON to have its own land and building was not possible. Prabhupada used to just rent a storefront. Right? Storefront is just a shop facing the road, so anybody can walk in and attend the program. That is storefront. So that kind of thing Prabhupada had. Even first was New York, and then San Francisco also was storefront only. And Los Angeles was actually a bungalow which they acquired, and then they started doing programs there. So that was the concept. There was no own land of ISKCON at that time. So it came later. Prabhupada started acquiring, and Prabhupada wanted ISKCON's own property later. So when they said that they have acquired this land in New Vrindavan, Prabhupada was very happy. And Prabhupada was encouraging them and inspiring them to preach and propagate Krishna consciousness. So and every devotee who came to Prabhupada and met Prabhupada in the room felt very inspired and amazed with the positive vibrations which were there in Prabhupada's room. It was divine. One devotee says, as I walked into Prabhupada's room, all my anxiety completely melted. That was the experience. We also have such experience when we're in great tension, something is bothering us, and you just go to meet some very advanced devotee, just be with him in his room, you completely forget all those things. Because the presence of such a advanced Vaishnava elevates our consciousness. Just being in the vicinity of their aura, and by hearing from them, our consciousness gets elevated and the problems disappear. We don't even perceive such problems. So in Prabhupada, many times he was telling that US is not giving me permanent residency. I think we should go to London and start a center there. If US doesn't give me permanent residency or extend my visa to stay here, I'll go to London and I'll preach in Europe. And if any one of you want to come, you can come with me. So we'll go in a group, maybe 10 people. We'll go together in a group and then we'll preach there in London. So if you are planning to come, then save some money so that you can get the tickets, so that you can come together and we'll preach there. So Prabhupada was planning very seriously. Prabhupada was thinking about going to London and preaching there. So, and one more thing Prabhupada did was, anybody came to meet Prabhupada, he had some prasadam to give them, either some fruits or some sweets, something like that. He used to give them. And it's not that always Prabhupada spoke about Krishna. Prabhupada also spoke about other topics which were very new and interesting to the foreign disciples. Like many times Prabhupada talked about the snow. Because in India there is no snow. Maybe in Kashmir, some places you may get the snow. But in India, it's a tropical country, so it's warm and hot. But in Canada and this northern part of the states, so there is snow. And Prabhupada said, one day I opened my window and I saw outside, I thought somebody has painted everything white. Right? Because Prabhupada never had experience of snow. Prabhupada innocent, and Prabhupada was very innocent. He was not very complicated. That no, he will cook up some stories and tell something, joke like that. No, Prabhupada is very spontaneous and natural. So Prabhupada says that I looked out the window and I felt as if somebody has put some paint. Yeah. I thought that somebody has taken lime and thrown it all over. Lime is nothing but paint, chuna. Right? In the villages and all, we in early times chuna ही होता. Chuna को पानी में मिलाओ, mix करो, it's a white paint. So yeah. And every year, and it is not natural, it's organic, it's not synthetic, it's good also. So Prabhupada is telling somebody has painted with lime everything. Oh, they are still throwing. Some snow is falling. Some lime is throwing from the top. And he laughed. I could hardly believe he had never seen snowfall before. He was like a child. He said such things so beautifully, like an innocent child, that whatever doubt I had was just wiped away due to the beauty of his expression. And many times Prabhupada spoke about other things like culture of Bengal, the tigers of Bengal, his interaction with his friends, his previous family, and other things. So that people get to know about him. So they say Prabhupada is very human at times. Not just, and then he will also connect people that topic to Krishna and then give a Krishna conscious purport. Anyway, then Prabhupada gets a news that they had done Rath Yatra in San Francisco. And who was the main person? Jayanand Prabhu was the main person. He had built a Rath in his own hand, by his own hand, and they had done a parade. And a newspaper article was published. And that newspaper was sent to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada read the newspaper title. San Francisco paraders, hail Hindu god Krishna. 2.5 ton wagon on long haul to celebrate Rath Yatra festival. So Prabhupada was very happy seeing a wagon, the Rath, they call it Rath as wagon, 2.5 ton made of metal and wood. So Prabhupada was very happy. He said, read the full article. So it gave to Gaurachandra and Krishnadas read the whole article. After hearing the article, Prabhupada praised the devotees, especially Shyam Sundar, and Jayananda for constructing an attractive cart and holding such a successful festival. Actually, 10,000 people came for that festival. Although Prabhupada was not there, still they did a grand festival. And how old are they? 1 year or 2 year old in Krishna consciousness. That's all. They're doing such huge festivals just because they loved Prabhupada and Prabhupada desired that such preaching should happen. And he said that, and he also appreciated Tamal Krishna Maharaj that every day he is having Sankirtan in San Francisco. But Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, what will you do sitting whole day? Let's go out. So he arranged Sankirtan parties. He got the kartals made locally and then some mrudangas. And then every day they were going for Sankirtan for a couple of hours. And they're distributing BTGs. And Prabhupada heard that they're distributing 100 BTGs every day. I was amazed. It was wonderful. 100 BTGs every day. Of course, later it becomes 10,000, thousands of big books eventually. But it started with this 100 BTGs every day. Because at that time, even to distribute 1 BTG, people were wondering how to do this. Right? So, and they're collecting $40 every day. It's very wonderful. So, Prabhupada said, if you want to live alone in a secluded place and practice yoga for your own personal advantage, that's very good. But if you want to help others by spreading Krishna consciousness, that is far better. So, Prabhupada was not in favor of being a bhajananandi, sitting in a corner and chanting always. Prabhupada said he would preach Krishna consciousness. And to preach Krishna consciousness, we have to be staying in a city. And whenever anybody got initiated, Prabhupada said, so you are being initiated, therefore you should make it your responsibility and duty to spread this message, to follow the principles strictly and become pure Vaishnavas and preach all over the world. To newly initiated devotee, he is telling, you should preach all over the world. And the devotee may be thinking, what about my khana, pena, sona? Don't worry about where you will sleep or eat. Krishna will see to all these things. You simply have to become sincere in service. That's all. Just be sincere. So this is the kind of faith Prabhupada instilled in his devotees. And another time, another devotee came and asked Prabhupada, sometimes I feel like this and sometimes I feel like that. Sometimes I feel that I'm surrendered to Krishna, but sometimes I feel that I'm a materialist. Why this is happening? Prabhupada said one line answer. It's because of Maya. Maya Devi is influencing you. You have forgotten. When you forget Krishna, you get into Maya. When you remember Krishna, you're not in Maya. When you forget Krishna, our situation is like that of a person on a boat, which is always keeping rocking and very unsteady. Right? So you will anytime fall into the ocean. So you have to fully surrender to Krishna. Not 99%. We should surrender 100%. Even if you keep 1%, okay, 99% you surrendered and 1% freedom you kept for yourself, you have to again come back. You have to stay here in this material world. So you have to surrender everything, 100% surrender. So that's Prabhupada told this. And Prabhupada said that Krishna consciousness is already there, but it has to be awakened. Just like fire is there in a wood, but you have to kindle it with matchstick. So then it will burn. Similarly, bhakti is there, so it should be kindled. So you have to practice Krishna consciousness. Start chanting Hare Krishna, then you will kindle your lost Krishna consciousness. So in this way, Prabhupada went on having so many wonderful interactions in Montreal. So many pastimes are there. Prabhupada Katha is unlimited. So I'll pause here. And if there are any comments or queries, we can take one or two. Hare Krishna. Anybody on Zoom has any queries or questions?
Devotees in Zoom can.
And our Nityam Bhagavata team has been doing this Lilamrtha Katha since lockdown. Now, Prabhupada, all 6 volumes are over and the additional volumes is going on. So many classes have happened on Lilamrtha. Every week, Wednesday, is Lilamrtha Katha online. So most of the pastimes of Lilamrtha are covered. Additional pastimes is going on. So thanks to the coordinating team for doing this consistently. Hare Krishna. Yes, Sankarshan Priya.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam. Thank you for
Pranam.
sharing wonderful nectar from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrtha, Prabhuji. It's always inspiring to hear again and again the Lilamrtha, especially whatever Prabhupada was writing in the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam. We could see that he is actually following that and teaching his disciples how to live by the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's, relatively, it's much easier to take the inspiration from Lilamrtha than from Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. That's what I felt, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, true. Because Bhagavatam stories sometimes appear bahut purana hai, it is a different setting. How can we practice it now? But when you read Prabhupada's Lilamrtha, then you will know, okay, how in current situation, modern world, we can practice Krishna consciousness and also preach Krishna consciousness. We hear of Narada Muni preaching to Prahlad Maharaj or Haryasha, Shodashvas. But here we can see Prabhupada in action, preaching to the Western audience, 100% Western audience. So we'll know how to do that. So that's the Prabhupada's jet age, Narada Muni. And Srila Prabhupada Lilamrtha is also like Bhagavatam only. What is Bhagavatam? Bhagavatam is nothing but stories of Bhagavan and devotees of Bhagavan. So Lilamrtha is also similar. Okay, so one should read both books, Lilamrtha as well as Bhagavatam. And there are other biographies also of other acharyas, Vaishnava acharyas, like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj, and most of the acharyas' biographies are available now. So we can read and get inspiration from that. And mainly Srila Prabhupada, because he is the latest acharya and the founder acharya of ISKCON. Hare Krishna. Any comments here?
Devotees in Zoom can unmute the mic and share any comments if you have.
He was a ghost. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is not just Bhajananandi doing bhajan. Yeah, he was. So Bhajananandi, but he encouraged Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur to preach. Right? Personally, he was sitting and chanting and inspiring devotees by his own sadhana. But he encouraged his disciple to preach Krishna consciousness. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati writes that my Guru Maharaj is like like there's a big ship, but there is also engine in the ship, which is important. Right? So whole Gaudiya Math is like the big ship, but the engine is Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj. Because of his chanting and his sadhana, the whole Gaudiya Math is moving, running. It is like that. So all the Bhajananandis, they do only chanting, but their chanting in one place spreads the positive vibes everywhere, and then preaching happens. Right? So indirectly they are also preaching. But Srila Prabhupada wanted that devotees go forward in the field and actually preach Krishna consciousness. So do your sadhana, do your morning program, do your Bhagavatam reading, and then another time preach. That's what Prabhupada encouraged devotees to do, because he also knew that devotees can't do bhajan all the time, because their mind and senses will not allow. So their senses need some engagement. So that's why Prabhupada gave all these engagements of preaching. And even I can't do chanting, maybe 16 rounds minimum. Uske baad next day hota hai chanting. Huh? Huh? Not much is known about his early days, but it is said that he lived in Vrindavan for a lot of time. Then he came to Mayapur and settled in Mayapur. Staying in Ganga, on the bank of Ganga, and living a very simple life. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for giving me a chance. I had read Lilamrtha long back, but these classes allow me to go through again and recollect those pastimes and share those pastimes. Thank you. Yeah, next life will become brahmachari. Wherever. Yes. So it goes to show that those who are having good service attitude, they get chance in the next life to render more intimate services. Yeah. Liberated. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna devotees, we will end the Zoom session here after the darshan, and we will meet tomorrow morning. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna devotees, I end the